I'm going to see if this works. See if anybody shows up for a chat. Let's see. It's 11:25. It's 10:25 in the flyover states. It's 9:35 in the mountain states, and on the Pacific coast, it's another time. Nobody's here. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Hi, David. Good morning. Hi, Court. Koji, how's it going? My striped shirt. Yes. I'm trying to get a job as a mime. Hey, guys. First of all, let me ask you, is the sound okay? Is the sound coming off all right? Oh, good. Hi, Salander. Mr. Malik. Koji, sounds great. Good. Everything's working. Get this weird thing now when if I have my phone plugged in, when it used to be, I mean, that when I say used to be, recently, when I'd start something, Google would say, "Hey, do you still want your phone for your video?" And for here, I don't. I have my really good camera in the computer monitor. So anyway, this time they didn't. So I thought, well, I better unplug it ahead of time. So anyway, so what's up, everyone? We can talk about anything we want to. There's no topic I had. Anyway, so let's talk about what's new. What's good with watch? What in watches right now is important beside price? I know price is important. Let me just run you through something that just came to mind. The other day I was chatting with someone, I forgot who it was, and I think it was Brian, and we were talking about the quality of these really good watchmakers, and we were lamenting that we couldn't afford it, and which we can't. In particular, we're talking about Raoul Pagès. And so, here's the guy who's got great watches. One of them was, I think, 45,000, and the other one was 180,000 for the detent. Can't afford that. But then we realized is that what we done with Larique was our solution. Basically, go right to a top watchmaker and then have them do it. And there's no other kind of, boy, there's some racket outside. Naturally, it would start. What is that? Oh, it's a great big truck going by. Sorry, had to take a look. Okay. Somebody said, what about Valjoux movements? Valjoux movements, they used to be like, if you wanted a tip-top movement, you'd put in a Valjoux, and then they were bought by ETA. They still are very good movements, though. I mean, Valjoux ones that are done right, Valjoux movements are quite good. Somebody wanted to talk about those, so I'll mention that. But going on is that what are some other solutions to really getting good watches without, I mean, I don't know, you can name a price that's affordable, and I know it varies for different ones of us. One of the things I did for years and still am doing is that I'm trying to find something by a top watchmaker and a watch that I can afford. The one I have on now, this is, and it's really ironic to say this. This is a Harry Winston, and Harry Winston, it was always associated with the jeweler for the stars. And during the Academy Awards, someone would have some woman would be wearing these diamonds or emeralds or rubies or something on this beautiful necklace, and it was on loan from Harry Winston. Well, Harry Winston was sold to Swatch of all people for over well, yeah, for over $1 billion, or right around $1 billion a few years ago. So anyway, but before that time, what Harry Winston would do, uh, as a basically they're jewelers, so they really weren't a watchmaker. So they'd go out and they'd hire people who were good watchmakers, and and good movements. Now this one has a Girard-Perregaux movement, and it also has a module for a bi-retrograde movements by Jean-Marc Wiedereck of Agenor. So it's, I mean, that was one way I do it. I couldn't afford, something that was by like Harry and Alana, or I used to be able to afford one when his was prices were lower and my income was higher. There was a period where I had a good income and plus some other money coming in and all kinds of things. So there was some things, but boy, I tell you, the prices just went whoop. And but I got some, so that was then. This is now. So what do we do? David, probably owned options could be the lowest hanging fruit. Pre-owned options. Do you think of course the two greats won't apply? You know, David, you're right, and I think sometimes the two greats do apply if you discover them early enough. Now, one of the things that I found was that these younger guys who are really good are charging a fortune. Hey, Brian. So, this is, but it's still not a bad thing if you can find it. I ran into that Frederic Piguet movement that was in that Fabergé, and I got a great deal on it. Here it is right here. This guy turned out to be one of my favorite watches, and it has so many things about watches I'm not crazy about. Namely, it's got a solid back, which is against it. I've come to like white gold, and this is a solid gold, and it has a Frederic Piguet movement. And one of the great ironies of this watch is that if you take the back off, what they did with in typical Fabergé, Fabergé is famous for the Fabergé egg. And so I took this up, and the rotor was in the shape of the Russian imperial eagle, who Fabergé started with selling these Fabergé eggs to Tsar Nicholas, I think. Anyway, um, they make, they don't have watchmakers, but they hire very good ones. One of the award-winning Fabergé has an Agenor movement in it. Anyway, so that's sort of something if you can. That's one way to get really good stuff. This one was somewhat of an irony. Um, so you know, um, I'm doing something here. Sorry. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh, there he is, Michael. I would just He was the guy I was just trying to get a hold of. Hey, Bill, hey, how you doing? By the way, Bill, I got the, I don't know if you saw it or not, but I got the resonance working, working together. I don't know if you, I put up 2 videos with it, so you can check that out. I had both of the, whatchamacallit, here they are here. Um, I had both of these. You can see right here how this was cut down. You can see it from this side. There, you can see it better. You can see how this was cut down. And so the balance wheel is almost directly in touch with it. In fact, it may even overlap it a little. And so anyway, I took your advice and removed the balance wheels, Bill. And one of them I couldn't get back, so Dominic, son, uh, redid one for me with the balance wheel there. And I told be very careful about the balance wheel. They were able to do it, so I didn't have to put another balance wheel back in and get it working. Anyway, that's an aside. That's another thing, by the way, too. Besides just buying watches, you can play with a lot of different things, try different experiments, have some fun with it. Hey, Neil, how you doing? Have you considered writing a book on the topic of watches? Neil, a lot of people have asked me to do that. And I tell you, uh, I published about 63 books. That was a lot. And writing books is really hard. I didn't realize it until I quit doing it. I just, oh man, writing a book on watches, I don't know. I tell you, somebody who's already done it, I think has done a better job than I probably could, is Ryan Schmidt. He has a book called The Wristwatch Handbook. If you don't have that, that's a really good starting point. He's coming out with a new one, and that's another good one. But I don't know. I used to really enjoy writing books. I'd get up in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'd write until about 9 a.m. when I had to go to the university when I had my first classes. And I did that for 45 years. And my God, that's just, and you sort of get used to it. And when I stopped doing it, I thought, oh my God, there's all this other time. But anyway, Neo, I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. Who knows? Hi, Joas. How you doing? Hey, AHRM. Uh, hey, do you believe in watch classifications placing ultra luxury class like Beauvais and those guys together? I don't think Louis Monet belongs in that group. I think the reason, Malik, we would do that is simply for beginners. So some beginner goes out and he says, is this watch, for the money? Am I getting good horology, or am I getting a good watch for this amount of money? And I think that's probably one of the reasons we might want to think about it. And also, too, I got a feeling, I was looking at that list, like I said already, is that there's some on there that I would never get. I just don't like them. But that's that's a matter of opinion. And I think, and a matter of taste. A lot of people have different tastes. And I know some watches people just love those watches and they don't do anything for me. And I don't try to make them quit liking them or me to like them. But just, some, different strokes and all of that. Hey, Dean, I have a question. Would the regular ETA 2824-2 have a silicone hairspring? I don't know, Dean. I don't know. It might, but I don't think the original one would. Um, but they may put them in it. Who knows? Hi, Hobby. How you doing? Least time. How are you? Neo. Heard it has 2 editions. Oh, I didn't know. I haven't seen the new one, Neo. Just get some grad students to write a book for you. You ever try to get grad students to do anything, Neo? I got. You don't want to hear my grad student stories. I used to teach research methods for our grad students, and I did that for 15 years. So that was like, never mind. Anyway, I had this one guy on a doctoral level when I was at the University of Florida, and the guy was in the middle of this great project. He was getting paid. He did all of this stuff. And all of a sudden he says, I quit. Just like, what? No. Yeah, I didn't know that that there were two editions to the book. Maybe it's the last time I talked to him about it, he was collecting some data on something. He wanted to talk to some people who were involved in the watchmaking, sort of for the worm's eye level, so to speak. And since I'd been dealing with people directly for Larique, I dealt with the movement maker, the case maker, the butcher baker, bottle maker, and the whole thing. And I find it just really fascinating, and they're really good people. And we've been dealing with some really very expensive but very good. I'll call them vendors for lack of a better term. Hi, Abdul. I was a responsible grad student. Yeah. When I was a grad student, I must have been I tell you, I would not want me for a grad student. This is a little manic. Oh, anyway, I tell you something that somebody brought up this morning was let's see what else you have to say. Hope to be making my own dial soon. Trial and error. Yeah, I tell you, HRM. Boy, I tell you, the dials. The first dial that we use, the dial maker we use for Larique, is a company called Metalim. And the reason we use Metalim was that Philippe Dufour used Metalim dials in his Simplicity watch. And right there on his Simplicity, it'll say Metalim. And that's because they made the dials. And so we figured, well, they must be good. They were great. Love Metalim. And our latest one was with Comble Mine. And Comble Mine is doing the Guy-Locher, which is another matter altogether again. Which I will skip that for now. Hi, Javi. How you doing, man? I came across the service charges by AD and found out among top jewels like Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet Vesson, and lowest prices for service. Is JLC not exceeding 1,100? I have one watch I got for my wife. I got her a Reverso, and that watch has just been perfect. Of course, ever since she got her Apple Watch, she doesn't use them too much. Abdul got your custom-made watch from my watchmaker, and I'm loving it. Dial was handmade by an artist in Iran, and the rest was sourced and made by a watchmaker here in Germany. Unitas movement included. Very cool. I've seen some stuff that's been done with a Unitas movement, especially like a 6498 or something. Man, I'll tell you, they have taken those things apart and put them back together that the watch's mother wouldn't know it. I mean, they totally changed all the plates and everything like that. What I like the best are the finger bridges. I've seen some movements that have taken like something like a Unitas ETA 6498 or 6497. They took it apart. They make all of these little bridges for it so you can see the whole thing. And really cool watches. I'll be using engraved numerals so I can just fill in with lacquer. Ooh, good. I'm no master painter. Nah. I think, I tell you, most of the dials, I think, are done, the numbers and stuff are done with decals. I'm pretty sure of it, but not positive. Some of them have the raised numbers, too. Hi, Watch Nicholas. How you doing? Michael's in the midst of a bespoke watch with Andreas Streller. It's an exciting process. Actually have a call in 15 minutes on it. Love his watches and under the radar approach. I like Streller too. Streller stuff is so great. I tell you the other thing too, Michael, Andreas Steller has really helped out some other watchmakers who need help. I mean, who need somebody who can really help them make a good in-house movement. One of them was Maurice. Maurice Lacroix. One of their movements is essentially designed by Andreas Steller. That sounds like a neat project, Michael. I'll get some photos of the dial maker and watchmaker processes and make a short video. That'd be interesting. Neil, I'm going to go after this YouTube isn't showing stuff. I'm sub to Gur. I wonder what happened. TRM, that's going to be a good one. Dornbluth and Son do a nice job with Unitas 6498. They do an excellent job with just about everything, Brian. I agree. That's father and son. They basically were reborn after the German reunification and sort of almost went from, 0 to 100 very quickly and done some great things. Yeah, he's a great guy. Hi, Joas. Let me see. From a tech world myself, I'm wondering if AI can perceive horology and create quite impossible complications, possible or at least come up with spectacular ideas for horology going forward. Joas, that is an interesting idea. I think, this would be sort of interesting. Pump in the foundation, the Geneva Seal Foundation, pump in all of their requirements into an AI and see what they can do within those parameters. The reason that Patek Philippe got 86th on Geneva seals was because of some of the materials they were using. Silicon. Anyway, I was at Philippe Picaluc Abdul workshop in Berlin last week, and I'm really excited his new watches. He is so good. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about Philippe. Interesting guy, really is. Some of these guys, I think, Ah, boy, making a transition from being sort of a designer, a watch designer, to a watchmaker. I mean, like, you can have some really great designs, but they wouldn't know how to put together a real movement. Um, I think that is a process that not a lot of them are able to come over from. There have been some who've gone the other way, who've gone from basically watchmakers to designers, such as I think Kari Voutilainen and F.P. Journe are two examples. The other thing, too, I think to look for, here's a way that we might be able to find somebody, stupid thing, find somebody who's working in restoration. I mean, so many of the top watchmakers started off working in restorations, and so they know about all of the history and the traditional kinds of things that are used. Neuchatel chronometer competition. Yeah. Yeah, HRM, they messed that up. That's funny. Um, yeah, I probably am still looking for that. These, who was it? Peterman and Badat, and there's another guy, another French guy, young guys who are just fantastic watchmakers. But they're making watches for, like, a handful of people who have, hundreds of thousands of dollars to work with. For an average guy, I don't know. I'd like to find I think we're pretty good on getting, putting something together under 10,000, but I think they like to put one together, really good one, under 5,000 somehow. Figure out how to do that. I'm open for any ideas on that. I know that, one approach would be to get a Boscher, or a who are they? The Mojon Crenode movement by Mojon. Either one of those are. I mean, you can get those for like around $1,000 a pop on those, and so putting together a watch under $5,000 with one of those movements, uh, it'd be something. Somebody can take that on. Someone can do it. I'm busy. Let's see. From a tech world, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty much from that world too. More of a programmer tech than anything else. Let's see. Wow. How you doing, Junior? Glad you could join us. Um, what are some other? Oh, one of the things that's been going on to some extent, and I'm not sure about it, is that you have a Maceta or Macena. Uh, some companies will be working with a top watchmaker like Haji Soka and Kari Voutilainen and also Raul Pages. And so you'll have a watch, I think it's Messina that has one with Raul Pages. And I'm not sure what Pages did as far as the movement's concerned. There was something, well, I did this with the movement. The same is true with Chanel. The Chanel Monsieur that I got was working with Gauthier. And Gauthier, they said, helped in the design. And then you look at the parts, and they were all from Gauthier. Gauthier is one of the interesting things about Romain Gauthier is that he makes all of his own materials. I mean, so that was why Chanel bought part of them. I think it's also why they bought a hunk of FP Journe as well. So that's another thing that's going on. That's sort of an interesting thing. You've got like Hermes bought 25% of Assure. Chanel bought parts of both Romain, Gauthier, and FP Journe. What happens with Swatch, though, they buy the whole thing and then they muck it up to the difference. Like Breguet, I would love to get a Breguet by Daniel Roth. And I'd have to go back and find one. I think 36 millimeters would be the biggest I could get. But it would be a really beautiful Breguet. Now, the thing now is that they have Breguet, and then it's like, oh, yeah, we got a Sikilium hairspring. Some people, it's fine. Knock yourself out. Me, it's like, by the way, too, I did ask FP Journe, or through FP Journe and Carré-Vout and Lannon directly, would they ever be using that stuff in their watches? And they said, absolutely not. Of course, neither would Agenor, or H. Moser. That's another thing. I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about something else. What else you got on your mind? Okay, question from Abdul. What do you think a German-built watch like Larique, but more affordable? Maybe all to be made in Glashütte. Okay, Abdul, don't tell anybody about this. I was in contact some time ago with Marco Wang. And I said, Marco, now that you're not with Lang and Jaime, would you be interested in making a new movement? And he said, I'm pretty busy right now. So I don't know. So we asked Stefan Kadoki and Richard Harbring whether they'd be interested. No, we're busy. So I don't know. Who else is? I mean, like, I tell you what would be really cool. I'd really like. I don't think they'd ever go along with it. Is Moritz Grossmann and have that what's it called? You know, that hammer. The hammer, instead of having a rotor for an automatic, they have a hammer that does something like this. Really a cool one, Hammermatic or something. To get one of those movements and put in a watch. To me, I've got to admit, I'm very partial to Swiss watches, but some of my favorite are German. One of my very favorite watches is my Lang & Hein. I love that watch. And I wish, the thing is that what to me, I wish more watch companies would do, and I'm going to see if I can bug Agenor or somebody into doing it. It's just have, take a look at the one that Marco Lang did, the Georg. With here, you can, it's a shape movement, and he's got all these little finger bridges, and each under one is the gear train. And so you can look at the thing, you can see it right down to from the barrel to the escapement. Love those watches. Okay, let's see. Need to hop. Have a good day with Andreas. Hey, killer audiophile. A Marco Lang movement would be next level. I think it would be great. Very Parisian. Where's Rancher? Where's Rancher here? Where's Rancher? There's Rancher. Hi, beret and striped shirt. Working on my mime stuff. Rancher, gonna be a mime. Hi, Andre. German's the best. Well, I don't want to get into that. I tell you what, you've got best watchmakers. That young guy in France, Cyril, I think is his name, Cyril something or something. anyway, they're good watchmakers from all over the place. Whoops, just hit my microphone. With the way you're dressed, you now are surrendered to German. No, no, rancher. No. This is not 1940. Okay, let's see. I made Yogi SP. How you doing? Hey, how are things in Indonesia? Always great to hear from Indonesia. It's evening there, I know. It's 12 midnight, I guess. I think, right? In Indonesia? Hi, A.A. Shah. Hope you're doing well. Doing great. Yeah, we're having fun. You know, I think, oh, by the way, it's coming up pretty quick. October 20th, the 20th of this month, we're going to be at the Watch Time show. So it's 3 days. October 20th, when we're having the cocktail party, where I'll be there, and with an open bar. I might be standing on my head. And then this next 2 days, um, they have these seminars and lots of other meetings there. I may not be able to make it for the 21st and 22nd because my wife wants to get back for some dinner that. But anyway, if you're going to be there on the 20th, I really hope to see you guys there. Oh, it's crowded of an upcoming election in Indonesia. Ah, okay. Huh. Yeah, we have elections too. It's sort of like I had a friend who lived in Iowa, who lived in Des Moines, Iowa, and Iowa's always had the first voting of some sort. They have some kind of conclave system or something like that. But anyway, what happened was that the guy said you couldn't sit down to dinner, you couldn't do anything because everybody would be pouring information, vote for me, and just was really bugging them. And I don't want to, I just dread that because I know it's coming. The good thing is nobody cares about Connecticut, so that's the good part about it. I guess we're going to have to get a new governor. I think the guy we've had has already had 2 terms, and so I hope this doesn't bring on more commercials. It's I feel for you, Indonesia. I really do. Okay, beret versus horns. Oh, come on now. I don't even know if we'll run into each other. The guys that I want to see are. Oh, let's see. I heard from H. Moser. They sent me a note about meeting with him, and but of course, Aganor's not going to be there. Why would they be? But I like to see the other guys who are into Larique, and I like to talk to. Kari Vutenlanen. We have 2 of his companies we're working with. The Vutenlanen and Catton for our the cases, and also Comblemine for the dials. So that'll be fun. Hey, Apar, how you doing, man? Cleo, do you change out your watch straps, bracelets for the seasons? What do you like? I that's a good point. Uh, I don't, I just sort of like, gee, I think I'd like something else. This watch band is from Harry Winston, and when I went there to get them changed, I went and got the one on Fifth Avenue, the new one across the street from the original one. Um, I went there to get a watch band. Okay, so I got the watch band, and then they said, "Would you like us to put it on for you?" This thing this thing has swiveled um, lugs, and so it fits perfectly because if you're bigger or smaller wrist, the swivel lugs sort of they go up or go down. Well, try to get your watch band on those, with things are going all over the place. So I said, yeah, this would be great. So my friend and I were sitting in there waiting and waiting and waiting, and it took them forever. And finally, they got it on and brought me the watch. Ah, thanks, with my new watch band. And they felt so bad about it, they gave me a personal H. Um, Harry Winston travel case to go with it. So I forgot it was worth the wait. Um, but in terms of changing bands, oh, he's gone now, but Michael and I were at Jean Richard's the other day. Um, no, Jean Rousseau's, getting watches. We were there at the same time in New York up on 57th Street off of Fifth Avenue. Great place. Love that place. Love their bands and everything. Another one too. I keep getting these in the mail from ABP Paris. They have gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous bands for watches. I have a few of those too, and they're very, very nice. Let me put this thing back on. What's your favorite most independent watch brand? Larique, of course. But of course, I like Groenfeld, I like FP Journe, I like Caribou and Lana, I like Raoul. I like everybody in AHCI, just all of them. A guy who has, I think they're on ETA movements, is Gruber. I think it's Paul Gruber. I just like his stuff. He's got these triple rotors, just little gold rotors on the back, and I think they're riding on a, you know, 2824 or something like that. I use Hirsch leather strap with rubber inner to look classy for work, and then summer comes. Joas, those are very, very cool. I think this may be one. I don't know if this may be one. My FP Journe straps have some of those, the ones with the rubberized on the inside, and then it's gator on the outside. I think this has that. Depending on where you live, if you live like in Florida and certain places or in Mexico and South America, or Africa, where it's very tropical weather, boy, those things, you can have a really classy looking band, and then you have the rubberized inside, and so you're not getting yourself, you're not. Whereas this is a nice gator band, but it just has a leather lining on the inside. I really wish more watchmakers did interesting lugs like Parmigiani, Harry Winston, and obviously Larique. Yeah, Larique number 1 and 2. Yeah, we got this great. We have that belt, the teardrop belt. That's really like that. I think our next one, the number 3, is going to be. That's going to be exciting. It goes from exciting to this incredible amount of work. Hi, Loose Tooth. I've had great experience using Camille Formet online strap configures for their textured leather stripes. Bought 4. Okay, Loose Tooth. That's good to know too. One that there's a guy in Canada. The name of the watch band company is Combat watch bands. And Aaron, I think, is the guy who makes them. A lot of people like those. Yeah. So the original question is, do I change my watch bands with the seasons or something? And the answer is, I'm not that organized. I just do it when I feel like doing it. Like, I feel like a new watch band. I was, I have my genre so watch bands on my Larique, and I took them off. I thought, I'm going to wear the ABP, the brown ones for a while. And, just sort of, I think I'll try this. ABP Concept in Paris and HD straps in Vietnam are two of my favorites. Ooh, I don't know about the ones in Vietnam. They sound interesting. Hi, Richard. Hirsch used natural rubber. Okay. That is much better than genuine rubber. It is not vulcanized. Okay, that's good to know. Thanks, Richard. Joas. I travel around Asia and the Pacific, a lot of work as a consultant, and mostly it's hot, even in normal standards. Yeah, so it sounds, in New England, they got we. I don't know. Our winters are getting more and more mild. I think because of the global warming, and I guess I don't know if that's a politically correct term or not, but the weather's changing, and I almost feel for the guy who does our snow plowing because we haven't needed it for the last 2 years. Whereas a few years ago we had snow that it was like we were up to here, it looked like Sweden or Russia with this huge amounts of snow. But we're getting rain like mad. Hey, Eddie, how's it going? By the way, Eddie, I did complete and we got it working. I had a couple videos up on the resonance project. It worked. We finally got everything together and unbroke. I'll put it that way. And it worked. We got the things entered resonance. The coolest thing to see that. So anyway, glad to see you. How you doing? Do I spend money I've been saving for watches on a single watch or multiple? I am thinking Brigade Tradition, Gray Market, or Lang on pre-owned. Now, I love the Brigade Tradition, but if I got a Brigade Tradition, I'd probably want to get one before they started putting silicone hairsprings in them. That's one of Swatch's contributions. So that's my opinion, Eddie. The All Langa, those are nice too. What I'd like, Eddie, I'd like you to do is to take over. I'd like to give a watch company to you. I mean it. You could have Larique. I'm getting, after this next one, we're going to need somebody with, has a lot more everything you need than I've got. Hey, Goldfinger, how you doing, man? Canada also has man cave leather. He was originally in the Ukraine, I believe, moved to Canada for some reason. Hey, Rodent, how you doing, man? The Reek Watch was featured in an article in a Swiss watch magazine, Watch Around 69. Wow, thank you. I didn't know that. I haven't seen it. There was every now and then somebody sends me either somebody did a video or some kind of thing like that. What? Thanks a lot, Rodent. That's really nice. Just scrolling in YouTube, searching some watch content, and accidentally bumped into your YouTube live in the middle of the night. Nice chatting with you. Oh, where are you in the middle of the night? Some people here it's like noon. And I realize is that in Europe and Asia, it's not noon. It's something else. Have to go to lunch. Boy, you got a late lunch, Abdul. If you are in Germany, right? Here it's lunchtime. There it's at that 6 hours later, it's dinner time. Anyway, have a good whatever you're having. Goldfinger. Oh, hey, by the way, too, if you do go to the Friday night cocktail party, look me up. Say, hi, Bill. That's it. Everybody knows what I look like. I look like sort of a bargain basement version of Santa Claus or a mime. But I don't know what you look like. So if just because I really like to meet people who go to those and find out other watch collectors that we know. Hi, Stoneful. How are things in Maine? Oh, it's in Europa Star. Oh, wow. Yeah, Richard, by the way, Richard, I get a subscription, and it's for everybody. We get a subscription free if you're a member of the Horological Society of New York. You get a whole bunch of free magazines that come with a membership. So let me put a plug in for the Horological Society of New York. And it's worldwide too, by the way. They're having workshops in London, I think in Hong Kong, on watchmaking. And if you can go to one of those, they are well worth it. Oh, good. Goldfinger, thank you. Oh, wow, you're going to GPHG. Eddie, I tell you, as soon as if we get one of our watches nominated, I'm going. That's it. I think that's the only way my wife will let me go. Otherwise, it's like, you'll catch COVID if you go out of town. Crazy stuff. Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah. You know what, Eddie? I tell you, go there. You ought to meet the guys from Aganor and some of the other guys who worked with us on these things. Class of which you let Don Haynes design the Lyrique? Oh, sure, any day. We'll let old Don go to town on it. He'd love that. Lombok Island, cool. Okay, guys. Well, listen. I am being recruited to go to the grocery store right now, so I gotta have to take off. But thanks for coming by. Just every now and then it's let's just talk about watches and without any kind of schedule and stuff. And I really appreciate all of you guys dropping by. Take care.